Subscribe for my channel Amol Ujagare and hit the bell icon for latest update.
So we are looking after the polymorphism, out of which one part we have done, that is method overloading we have done, and now today we are going to learn about method overriding, right? So we will see the key points first, and then we will learn few more things that are prerequisite for learning overriding, right? Overriding looks straightforward, but there are so many terminology like upcasting, that is quite confusing, right? So in order to understand, we need to understand few very basic things in Java. So first let's see the key points in method overriding. So if a subclass has the same method as declared in the parent class, it is known as method overriding in Java. In this process, an overridden method is called through the reference variable of the superclass. The determination of the method to be called is based on the object being referred by the reference variable. So it looks so much technical. Let's try to simplify this. Okay. So first, we are going to learn what is casting, right? So for that, we have a simple example with us. Let me just see through it. So this is an example wherein I have defined two integer variables a and b. A is equal to 10 and b is equal to 3. Then here I am trying to divide a by b, whose result has to be something in decimal, right? 10 by 3 means 3.33 something. And if I try to store that into C, right, it result gives 3.0, not 3.33, right? And why? Because A is integer and B is integer, and their calculation or competition gives me integer kind of result only. If I want to get this result in the form of double, so I should typecast it. And how do I do that? Like this. So if you write into the brackets, then you can typecast it. We called it as a typecasting. So the result will come in the form of double. So like this, you can get the output of C. If you try to print C, the output will be like this. So this is what we call casting, right? So if we want to assign one type of variable to another type of variable, we need to typecast this variable into the type with which the another variable is. So let's say here C is of type double, so I need to typecast A by B into double, right? So you make a note of it. I'll write it for you. What is typecasting? Typecasting is if you want to assign one type of variable or object to another variable or object, then you should put that type into round brackets, for example double, and that variable will be assigned to the another variable without any issue, right? So based on this, we are going to learn the next thing, right? So casting in classes, right? So here you observe, I'll get another notepad. There is one class, public class, casting class, public void display method is there inside it, and then class child extends casting class, right? Here also we have a method display, just forget about this. But see, if I want to access the method inside this display, inside this child class, I need to create its object. So here we have created child C is equal to new child. Okay, great. And let's see, this is a casting class, right? If I want to access its data member, I need to create its object. So casting class, let's say ob is equal to new casting casting class. Okay, so C is one type of object, OB is another type of object, right? So if I want to assign C to OB, right? If I want to assign C to OB, so I cannot directly write like this, OB is equal to C. I need to see what type of OB it is. It is of type casting class, right? So I should cast it like this. Are you getting this? It is quite similar to earlier example. If you want to assign one type of variable or object to another type of variable object, then you should put that type into round brackets, for example double, and that variable will be assigned to the another variable without any issue. So if I want to assign C to OB, then I should put the type of OB into the round bracket so that C will be assigned to OB without any issue. Right? Are you getting up to this? Let's see. The same thing I am writing in some different way. I'm just writing it casting class OB is equal to this, right? Is there any difference? This is also similar to this. Just I'm not simply writing OB, I'm writing casting class OB, right? So there is no harm in it, right? Now there is one more thing. So here you may skip this round bracket casting class, right? It automatically casts. It automatically cast internally. Okay, so even if you directly write, so this happens only in the class, right? So even if you write like this, and so many times you can assign it like this, right? So this happens internally,
Mm.
even if you don't write, right? But so many times we need to write it, although it is said like this, but so many times it is right. So we need to write this, or even if we write it, you see, what is this C? C is equal to new child, right? So instead of
Mm.
this, I can write this, right? Is there any harm writing this? This is exactly like this or this. You can compare like this. This and this are equal. Do you agree with this? This and this are equal. So this is called as upcasting. Okay. So this is called as upcasting. Now see here, OB is just a reference, right? Its object is actually not created, right? When we say that object is created, when you use new operator, when that object gets a memory allocated to it. So OB is just an reference of casting class. Actually, an object of new child is created and OB is referred to it, right? The new operator is used in the
Mhm.
form of this child constructor, right? So the actual
Mm.
object of child is created and OB is just a refer to it. It happens like this. So casting class OB is equal to new child. But with the help of this object, I can access the data members of this class. So actually, its application is an interface wherein you are not able to create the object of the interface. So in that case, we do typecasting. Right? We will see that in later sessions. So just try to understand this. We can write like this as long as if child is the child class of the casting class, right? So this we called upcasting. So many places this is directly written and nothing, and nobody explained inside this, right? But I thought it is important, right? So this is casting class OB is equal to new child. We called it as upcasting, right? The same thing is written over here. The casting CC is equal to new child, and if I to print a C dot display, then C dot display if I say, then the display method of the child will be called, and if I say CC dot display, then the display method of casting class will be called, right? So this we called as upcasting because the C is the child object of child class, and CC is the object of casting class. So C dot display I can do, and CC dot display also I can do, right? So this is we called as casting class, and this is the upcasting, the reference variable of parent class and object of child class, like this. If this is a parent class and this is a child class extends parents, and A is equal to new B. This is upcasting. Are you getting this? So what we achieved. So let's suppose there is a TV show. Actually, before that, let me remind you the definition of overriding. Overriding is we have same method name with same signature, but the body different, and it is implemented in two different inherited classes, right? Same method name, same arguments, but body different, implemented in two different classes. What we achieve by doing this, right? So I would like to give you one example. Suppose there is a TV showroom, right? We have different kind of TVs like Samsung, Onida, and LG, right? So every TV has a remote, right? And let's say this is a master remote. This is a remote in general. You see, wherein every TV remote has few common functionalities. You pick up any remote of any type of TV. We have buttons for changing the channel. We have buttons for changing the volume. With settings as well, right? So like this, changing the channel, volume control, and settings, right? So why can't somebody manufactures only one remote, and we use that, and everybody use that for different kind of TV? Let's say the Samsung says, okay, your general functionality is fine, but I want to implement my own functionality also into it. Onida will also see the same. Your in general functionalities are okay, but I want to implement my own functionalities as well. This will also say the same, right? Similarly, suppose there is we have a Tata Motors in India, right? And Tata Motors manufactures cars, right? They have different cars like Tata Nano is there, then Tata Safari is there, and other cars are also there. So basic engine of all the cars are same, right? But every individual car has implemented their own functionality, right? So in the first example, TV showroom is the parent class, and this Samsung, Onida, and LG are the child classes of this TV showroom, right? So let's see the example of it. So let's suppose this is a class showroom, and we have some implementation of these functionalities: wide channels, wide volume control, wide settings. Then Onida extends showroom, Samsung extends showroom, LG extends showroom, and everybody has their own methods of changing channels, volume control, and setting. Similarly here and here as well, right? And what we will do, we will implement this example. Inside the main, I can create an object of showroom or the reference of showroom, and I can assign to Onida. So if I say let s dot channels, the methods inside the Onida will be called s dot volume, the method inside the volume control of Onida will be called s dot settings, the method inside the Onida will be called, because showroom s is upcasted to Onida, right? So we'll try to implement this kind of method, this class. So let's say showroom, let's say wide volume is out, showroom volume. then void settings, showroom settings, then we have void channels, it's out, showroom channels, right? So similarly we will write one more class, let's say class onita, it extends show showroom, and it will have all the same methods, but it will have its own implementation. We will also have class, let's say Samsung, it extends showroom, but it will have its own implementation. And lastly, I will also take class LG, it extends again showroom, actually the class the C of this class I have written it capital, so it was error. And we are done. Okay, let's create a main method. You can create main method anywhere. You may create another class for main method, or let's see, I'll create another method, another class for main method. So let's say class. Hmm. So now get an object of showroom. Showroom, let's say s is equal to new o is small and little. Okay, let us just see if I remove this extend. Can I do that? No, I cannot do that. If the showroom is not the parent of Onida, I cannot do like this. I cannot do upcasting. It has to be its parent. Showroom has to be parent of Onida. Then only I can do upcasting. Right. So now using as a dot channels, let's see whose methods will be given a call. Onida channels, right? And if I say s is equal to new Samsung, and if I give a call to s dot channels, so first it will give a call to the Onida channels, and then it will give a call to the Samsung channels, right? Like this. So we can use the same reference and we can assign it to anything else. Some similar note, if I call to some other method using this object s, then you'll see the corresponding method of Samsung will be called. See Samsung settings. That so this is what the overriding is. You can use the same method name with same signature, that is same parameters, and you can implement it over the another child class, right? It is called as overriding. So I will show you one more example. Let's say this is a bank, right? Bank is the parent of all the different classes. So these are banks in India: SBI, ICICI, then Axis Bank, right? So let's say this is the Reserve Bank of India, and it has some rate of interest, right? So this SBI also have some rate of interest. ICICI has also some rate of interest, and this Axis Bank is also having some different rate of interest. So RBI, that is the Reserve Bank of India, has let's say given some guideline to every banks. So you should not charge the rate of interest beyond certain amount, but you can have your own, right? So this is the own implementation of bank, and these are the different implementations of the individual banks. So this is the another example of overriding, right? Yes. Can you implement this example just like the Samsung Anonida? This is quite easy because there is only one method. Will you do this? So I hope you understood and like this video. So if you like this video, please do share with your friends and colleagues. And if you have still not subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe. Thank you very much.